WanderingWinder here doing some commentary on a game of former Dominion #1 on a very old site, Obi-Wan Benogi. I haven't seen him around much, but I played him just recently. That video probably hasn't come out by the time you're watching this one, but anyway, um, yeah, really enjoyed playing with OWB, as no one called him at the time. Back then quite a bit, so I decided to do some commentary on his games. He may be out of practice. I don't know. We'll see. Um, okay, so Masquerade, potentially Hideout look like thinning here. Yeah, potentially Amulet as well. Guess you don't want to thin maybe too much, but just so you have stuff to pass still with Masquerade. But you're gonna get some kind of village plus probably rabble more than Royal Blacksmith going to draw your deck. You're gonna want hamlets for the plus buy to be part of your village suite probably, and Crown Mandarin is an interaction, but I don't think it's going to come up here. There's no way to gain Mandarins in mid-turn, so I mean, like, you could top deck your crowns and play with it, maybe, I guess. I don't know. I like getting Amulet, kind of, because it helps you get your. Huh. I was gonna say it helps you get your Labyrinth on, but on the other hand, I don't know that that's really gonna matter. This is a really good draw for Obi-Wan Benogi. Um, getting well, that wasn't as good a draw, of course, but getting the three estates to miss a shuffle like this, and you can get a Hamlet, so the cost missing just really doesn't matter that much. Um, and having basically just a bunch of continuously short shuffles here is not so bad. He's thinning quite nicely. He's already gotten two cards thinned by turn five. Before turn five, he's going to thin another one here on turn five. Um, Crown already. Josh Yasso, the opponent, I have no idea about them. It's the first time I've ever seen them play. It seems like quite a reasonable deck. A couple of amulets, a caravan. The crown strikes me as a little bit weird, but it's not like crazy. Ooh, this is probably pretty good. I want to get a hamlet and a caravan probably. I think I want some caravans if I'm Obi-Wan Benogi to give me a little bit of reliability. I don't really want another bard because I think my terminal space is going to be better used on other stuff. I don't really want another hideout because I'm going to be pretty thin anyway. And I have villages in the form of hamlet. So yeah, I like this play. Also, getting two things there does get you some labyrinth points, which isn't really the hugest deal. Um, okay, crowning amulet is something, but at the top of a shuffle, it should be perfectly safe. Well, you don't want to discard for buy here, I don't think. You don't have enough money lined up to do so. So yeah, now caravan next, and then hamlet. And you're just going to buy, I think I would buy a silver at this point. Discarding for buy could be an indication of Royal Blacksmith, or it could just be an indication of there's not much reason not to discard for buy there. I don't think I would like Royal Blacksmith here. Almost your whole deck is, or almost your whole economy is coppers, right? So I'm not the biggest fan. It's going to take a long time to pay this debt off. I mean, it's really not as bad maybe as I'm making it out to be, but I don't also particularly like it. I think you should discard nothing with this hamlet here. Wow, really? But I wanted to trash that estate with this amulet. And that was just hoping for a drawing boon, I guess. Taking a silver makes some sense, but I mean, okay, you're probably going to have this debt paid off this turn if you're Obi-Wan Benogi, so it's really not that bad. I also don't think Royal Blacksmith is that great of a card. Yeah, you get it in your deck a little faster. I don't know, it's probably not the biggest deal either way. Josh Yasso just doesn't have enough deck control set up, right? No Hamlets, no hideouts, only the one crown. And while he's been able to thin reasonably, uh, you do need to add draw at some point, right? You may as well discard both these coppers here because they're about to get discarded anyway. You want to play the Royal Blacksmith next. Then Hamlet, discarding. I don't know if I would have discarded that. Because you know you're going to draw coppers, right? There's all coppers down there. It's 100% coppers, I believe, in that discard. In fact, maybe you didn't need to discard at all because you knew you were going to draw a copper from the hideout, and you could trash that and then play the Masquerade and pass the estate. I think you could get away with not discarding there and just be basically a card further in this shuffle. I mean, you're going to be fine anyway, but. And didn't trash a copper there off the. That's interesting. I would have trashed the copper, I think, but this is what it is. Gets a caravan, and that's already your labyrinth points. You pay off your debt. I really don't want another Royal Blacksmith. I don't think you need it. You're just drawing well enough anyway, more or less, or you soon will be once you thin just a tiny bit more. Certainly, I would rather be looking for like rabbles, or like a rabble to help me supplement the end of what I'm doing. Um, okay, so Josh Yashu is very thin here, but doesn't have any villages. So I think Obi-Wan Benogi is fairly well ahead just because they're more generally better set up. I'm not a big fan of this Piazza. I just think cards are going to do better for you, and you're gonna need treasure payload at some. I mean, I guess you could play with a lot of bards, but I'd much prefer to play with some treasure payload at some point. So then Piazza's gonna miss a bit. Maybe it plays a card at a bad time. I mean, it probably won't play a card at a bad time because there aren't that many cards you can play at bad times here. You'd have to have a deck that's like full of green for you to hit a Masquerade or a Hideout that's not well. Hideout you might have to trash a decent action, but it is also Piazza's also a bit countered by the opposing rabble. But I still think Obi-Wan Benogi's far enough ahead that it probably won't matter a ton. Yeah, this hideout is getting close to the point where it's outlived its usefulness because you're thin. And you don't want to be trashing the cards in your hand anymore. So, I mean, actually, this is a difficult choice of what to pass here. I think I'd pass the amulet. You don't really need more of that at this point. All of your other cards seem a little bit more critical. I guess Crown isn't very critical, but it's just like a better card than Amulet. So I think Amulet is what I would pass there, and yeah, it's what he does. I think I'm gonna say he, because Josh typically a male name. Wow. Amulet is not what I was expecting there. I was expecting Bard. But actually, this makes quite a bit of sense. It gets you more Labyrinth points, and what did you really need? Um, what the extra money from Bard wasn't likely to get you that much better of a card than Caravan. So taking a silver and having the amulet in play for this turn makes a decent amount of sense. But I'm liking the Piazza less and less because like it's going to be, I don't know, 60-70% of your deck is actions, And again, after you get rabble attacked, you're just a lot more likely to have a victory card on top. So I do think that was a mistake, but overall, Obi-Wan Benoki has been playing really well. Josh Yasso has been playing reasonably, although he's really focused on the thinning much more so than building his deck up, which, I mean, okay, generally that's good because it's pretty easy to build your deck up pretty quickly. Don't get me wrong, but it it didn't get him drawing really faster than it did, uh, say, Obi-Wan Benoki playing with his strategy here. I guess you pass a copper. I kind of want to pass Hideout, actually. Josh Yasso definitely passing a copper here. But I think I would want to pass Hideout because, yeah, I love that play. Just because, well, you don't really want to trash anymore. And Josh Yasso is also extremely thin. So yeah, you just do this. You play Bard next. Field's Gift, okay. And then Amulet for money. Suppose that's fine. I'd probably go Province Crown or something. Maybe Province Rabble. Maybe it's a little bit too early to Province, but it's getting close. You can always get more econ from your amulets. So I think something like Province Rabble was fairly reasonable. On the other hand, you're probably going to need to take a turn not provincing before the game is over, so doing that now is fine. If I was going to do that, I don't think gold would be the thing I got. I think it would be like Crown Rabble or something like that. Crown is a swing card which can either be payload or um, not. Deck control. Deck control is the term I was looking for there. Okay, Masquerade now. I think you just lug around a couple of coppers because you want to have stuff to trash. But that means you need more draw, which is kind of why I want to draw last turn. Um, Here you're going to lug around amulets because they're better than coppers, I guess. He does trash the copper. Discard an amulet here? Wow, he really wants to play it all, huh? Okay, take this for money as well and get a rabble and a crown. Yeah, okay. Um, Part of it looks like he's drawing poorly because he just missed the Royal Blacksmith was one of the very few cards he missed there. But you do want to be able to overdraw a little bit, so getting another rabble makes sense, as well as you're going to need to draw more after you start adding green cards to your deck. The big Labyrinth split looks like maybe even the biggest difference at this point. Um, Trashing with the amulet there looks like a pretty big mistake from Josh Yasso because, well, you're going to need things to pass, and you have this hideout in your deck, and just, you didn't really need to trash that last copper. Okay. Yep, silver. And that's going to happen with this deck. Hamlet next. You discard for both, I think? And do you crown Royal Blacksmith here? No, you don't need to. You can just play it. Not sure I would have double pull crown there. I would definitely go on Bard now if I'm going to do that, but I might have wanted to save a crown for, excuse me, for playing on gold as part of my payload. This is why I didn't want to trash the copper last turn. Guess you're going to pass the amulet. You could pass silver, I guess. Josh Yasso should almost certainly pass silver. Yeah. Okay, you're not going to trash any of this stuff. You're going to have 21 and go province, province, rabble. Yes. And you're just going to have a huge lead here if you're Obi-Wan Benogi. Um, Josh Yasso's deck is fine, but if you just start provincing a ton, you're going to have a little bit of problems drawing. Mostly, though, it's just like all you're doing is. Do I like that double discard? Or the discard for the action you didn't need? I guess it doesn't really matter. You're going to take a silver here, you're going to play the rabble, you're going to draw. My point is, Josh Yasso is going to run out of draw, but the bigger problem is that Josh Yasso is going to. Yes, yes, you do lose. You're just going to be able to only province once every turn, and that's just not enough because Obi-Wan Benogi is set up to do a lot more than that. Um, yeah, so what can we learn from this game? Uh, Getting thin is good, but the real goal is to get deck control to have big turns in a game like this and in most games of Dominion. And if you can thin a lot faster, that's great, but if you can build while thinning, like Obi-Wan Benogi did, that's often better, right? You need to have a plan to build bigger. I think that's the main lesson here. There's obviously a lot of other stuff with the Piazza and maybe the Royal Blacksmith, I don't know. Masquerade versus Amulet, you can talk about. The Hideout seemed pretty good. Early good draws from Obi-Wan Benogi also helped, of course, winning the Labyrinth split by a lot. But I think the biggest thing was just that Obi-Wan Benogi was able to build bigger, and you just thinned, but you didn't build bigger off the back of it, right? And I think that was the main difference.